This is a special edition of Well from the Farm. Hopefully, you guys can hear me pretty good. It's a beautiful evening out here in Food by the Word country. I just wanted to make a quick little video, you know, um, an episode of Well that kind of really focuses on an interesting thing that's occurred here, um, this week with Food by the Word, and I want to use Food by the Word as an example, for the issues that we have with small businesses and especially black-owned businesses, specifically, but but small businesses in general. But I just really want to, Food by the Word. We've been struggling for years to make a go of everything, and by the grace of God, we've come a long way, but it's been a very hard fought struggle, and it continues to be a fought struggle. But we try every avenue that we can in order to generate business, to generate revenue, to get access to capital, which has been the biggest issue that we faced. And it's not just me. I know a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs that have the same struggles. But so we tried every avenue that's available, whether it be grants, whether it be loans if we can. Most of us aren't able to get or procure small business loans because of our credit issues that we've had, or we don't have enough capital to leverage, or various different reasons. But the biggest reason is we don't have the capital backing in order to secure it. But I just received some information and feedback in just the past couple of days. I applied for a grant. No knock on the people I applied from, but you know, yet again, it's not the first grant I've applied for over the years, but I hadn't done one in a while. But it just reiterates. But I did get some good feedback. And I take it as good feedback. I take it as good feedback from those who, no matter how hard you try or how much you market, there's still more people that don't know you than do. So, all they know is the information that you provide for them at the given time. Okay. So with this particular grant, I got a lot of interesting feedback that I wanted to share with everybody, and hopefully it helps you. You can take a little bit, and apply this to, your business and your trajectory on trying to secure, capital and so forth going forward. Because it's one of the many struggles that we face. Especially like I say, as black-owned businesses. Access to capital is our number one issue, and unfortunately, without the access to the capital, we can't do the things that we need to do that actually makes us favorable to receive the capital, in the first place, be it small business loans, bank loans, even grants and so forth. But I just want to kind of share a few things, they kind of, point out, it's kind of funny. We go into business to generate money, generate revenue so that we can grow our family, so we can pay off our bills, so we can come out of debt and grow forward. But the issue is, if you don't already have the money and the proper credit and the ability to access the capital in the first place, your struggle for a successful or a business at all, but for a successful business is really minuscule. It's really minuscule to almost zero in the system that we have, currently, and so forth. So the issue is, a couple of things that they pointed out, how I've structured my business, Food by the Word, which is one of my businesses, you know, it's been structured as an e-commerce business. It's gone through many iterations, from a catering platform, to a retail platform, and, just these different levels. But the issue is, to gain the traction that we need the capital in the first place. Well, we didn't have the capital, so the plan was make the capital, invest the capital. Well, that's been a mighty big struggle. So the fact of not having the capital in the first place, you have to use, if you're sole proprietor, if you're LLC, depending upon what structure you set up for your business, is going to play a part in if you're going to be able to access certain cash or grants or so forth at times. But the bottom line about it is, it all boils down to sales. It all boils down to sales. Well, now in the past several years, if you've started a business over the past several years, you know there's a distinct difference in the atmosphere in the market. And unlike years before, what we used to be able to do, we can't just do that anymore and start a small business and make a few dollars here, make a few dollars there. It's a lot more complicated because there's not enough space. There's not enough space. So that being said, you have only one thing to depend on, and that's the people. We have to depend on the people. So if you have a hard time, getting the grassroots going, you know, without the capital backing, it's nearly impossible to break through. But that's why it's hard to secure for Black-owned businesses to secure these sorts of grants. These grants are kind of, they're structured. I understand how they're structured. They're structured for, for success, for those that get the grants to succeed. And so they want people that are already succeeding to get the grants. Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because in the Black community, we're already leveled so many things against us, that access to capital is nearly impossible in the first place. And so it's hard to structure yourself or to be able to, have the properties purchased already, to have, certain things already put in place in order to, tap into these things, in order to, generate the plans, in order to, get with a developer, drop some plans and everything. You don't have the development budget in order to get the plans to apply for the grant. There's a lot of things that are levied against us. And this is why it's very important to understand that, especially for Black businesses, you do not have the option. If we lack the support, community support, the organic, which is nearly impossible to get, but the organic community support, in order to grow our businesses, it's nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible. And so unless you can tap into, organizations and become part of the system and the structure, from the inside out, and then be able to take advantage of these, grants and so forth, from the inside out, as a Black-owned business, you're almost guaranteed to not be able to get any traction or be able to get any kind of grant access at all. Capital is so elusive, for Black businesses, so elusive. And this is one of the biggest issues that we have. And typically, whether it's, it could be $5 million available, right, in a particular area. $5 million in today's money is not a lot when it comes to actually investing in building whether a brick and mortar, and then staffing it, and then, putting the necessary equipment in it, and then the inventory and so forth. It's almost nothing. Plus the purchase of the property, the fees and the licenses and so forth. It's nearly impossible. It's not nearly enough money. But here's the thing. How these things are structured are they actually want you to partner and be partnered already with a number of people that are tapped into the said organizations, which, it is what it is, It'd be nice if they say these things up front, but here's the issue in the Black community. In the Black community, they've got their mind made up. There might be 20 awesome businesses in this small microcosm that vie for this grant, and they only got their mind made up. Only one of them is going to make it, and they already know who they favor the most. And so everybody who comes to the table is going to get extra picked over. So you're going to get scrutinized to the 10th degree because you don't have any friends in the room. Now, if you have any friends in the room, it might go a different way for you. But this is the issue, though. It's a lot of politicking. Like the conversations I'm having with people here lately, you're in politics, whether you know it. If you're operating a small business or a nonprofit or a business of any kind, you're in politics. Politics is, especially now, you are in politics. You might not believe it. I don't do politics. Yes, well, you better do politics because you are in politics. It's all politics. It's all about politicking. These monies are, earmarked in such small amounts for the Black community. They're such small amounts for the Black community. They really are. Don't get it confused. When you hear, 3 million, 5 million, it's not a lot of money, especially when it's for the whole area, the whole city, for 50 entrepreneurs, fighting and scrapping over it, just to make enough. See, it guarantees that you're going to have partnerships. It guarantees that you're going to have to already sell off some skin in your business and lose the leverage that you have in your business. It automatically guarantees that your ownership stake in your business is going to have to be a whole lot less in order for you to get that thing established and get that grant money to utilize. And so these are things you got to keep in mind. You got to keep these things in mind. And so, here's the thing, food by the word, we're, God is doing a thing, we're more than, ecstatic about the direction that God is taking food by the word, whether it be this, these grants mean nothing to food by the word. These outside monies mean nothing to food by the word. The reality of it is, this is like the 7th year of food by the word. We've come a long way. We've got a long way to go, a long way to grow. And the fact of the matter is, we are doing a thing that allows us to move, from Indianapolis to Fort Wayne, that keeps us able to tap into different people, whether it be Kokomo, whether it be in Anderson, Muncie, anywhere up and through the corridor, and I thank God for that. I thank God for that. And plus with our, digital products, which you can access anywhere, on the internet, so it's, we're not constrained, and we won't be constrained, to all of the, powers that be that do not want to see food by the word thrive. Because see, here's the thing. I don't spend a lot of time complaining outwardly about, what I've heard people say about food by the word over the years, or, how I know people feel about food by the word, and how they, they're reluctant to even participate, in a Christ-centered business, that glorifies God, let alone one that's black owned, so it's not, it's not falling on deaf ears. I've heard the criticisms, these are realities, but food by the word is bigger than that. Food by the word is, we're, we're doing something that's not, it's not centralized to, just, Indianapolis or, Fort Wayne or, no, we're not held to those constraints because God is doing a thing. And so just understand, God is doing a thing with food by the word. I'm excited to see the direction that God is taking food by the word. And for all small business owners, especially black small business owners, just know, that, we have to start really utilizing our connectivity amongst one another a lot more. We have to start listening to each other, and we have to start understanding there are a myriad of gatekeepers that are put in place to make sure that we don't get access to certain funds and certain monies. And so the reality of it is we have to do grassroots. We have to do a lot of organic. We have to do a lot of, over the past few years, we've done networking. Networking is a continuous thing. We continue to do it. But what we have to do, though, is we have to get more serious and critical about our businesses. We have to know, are we building businesses that are, future facing? Are we building businesses that are not just, here today, but are they sustainable to grow forward? Are we building businesses that are built for, the future that's ahead of us and not the past that's behind us? These are the things that we have to be aware of. And for a lot of us, that are just, getting off into the entrepreneurial space, in our late 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s sometimes, we have to understand this is not business as usual. Some things are not an option. Here's the thing. Social media usage is not an option. You got to do it. It's part of your branding. It's part of your marketing. You got to do it. You can't be lazy about it. You have to do it. You got to get out here. You got to be on multiple platforms. You got to be using them. You got to be tapped in. You got to be doing it. Not get somebody to do it for you. Not wait for somebody else to do it. You got to be doing it. These platforms are changing every single day. You have to get very active and very aggressive about utilizing these platforms right now. Right now, building your brand. Nobody's going to do it for you. And then there's got to be a lot of connectivity. There's only it's very interesting. There's going to be some studies over the next few years. It's going to be pretty interesting to see, the psychology of why people, refuse to support people that they know, on social media. That's going to be a very interesting study. But as for right now, you can't worry about any of that. You have to make sure that your presence is being felt, because what you're doing is you're establishing your place. Because here's the other thing that's pretty exciting to me about some of the feedback. Part of their evaluation process was the social media presence of Food by the Word. And guess what? Hey, like it or not, that's undisputable. That's undisputable. Food by the Word's SEO and Facebook presence and social media presence and, LinkedIn presence and TikTok presence and, Instagram presence and, Pinterest presence, social media period presence is solid. It's solid. Second to none. So, we're very excited about that part. We're very, very excited about that piece. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. So there's some great takeaways that I get. This is not a setback at all. This is not a setback at all. I really appreciate the feedback that I got, and I take that feedback to heart, and I take that and I utilize it. That feedback is awesome. I'm gonna be honest to you. The feedback that I got from applying for that grant and being denied is priceless. It's priceless, because that feedback is the necessary feedback that we need. And this is even harder to get as a small business. This is even harder to get as a small Black-owned business. To get that kind of feedback as a small Black-owned business, here's the thing. I invite feedback from my businesses. I invite feedback. That's how you grow. That's how you grow. Give me feedback. Let me know what you're seeing, what it means to you, how it feels about, to you, let me know, because this is how we build. This is how the market talks to you. And I'm saying this specifically because no matter what you think, feedback is so hard to get nowadays. Feedback is so hard to get. Everybody and their mama is scared to say anything, to anybody for any reason. As a business, that is cancer. That is death. If you don't get to get feedback as a business, you don't know what you're doing right. You don't know what you should be doing. You don't know, So this feedback, I thank you guys, for denying me this grant and giving me that feedback. You know what I'm saying? This is actually the best thing I could have gotten today. This is even better than that grant, because what I can take from this information and extrapolate from this information and growing forward, helps me. It helps Food by the Word to become stronger and stronger and stronger. So this is just a special live, from Well. And I just want to say, these are the thoughts that we have to say, this is the conversation. I want to hear from people. I want to hear from you guys. I want to get the feedback and say, these are the conversations that we need to have in order to build strong and sustainable businesses going forward. So I'll talk to you guys later. God bless you. Have a great Easter, and I hope you guys have a great time with your families and everything. Enjoy this weather. God bless you. And thanks for listening to me, and welcome to Well.